Freshly cut trees. Right now, that's what it smells like walking through Boscobel. I want you to take a look here. This is one of several trees I've seen today, completely uprooted. Just as the polls began to close, a group of demonstrators began gathering here at the state capitol. Just before our newscast, they had a couple cars block the entrance here. There is no police presence here that we've seen other than the streets being blocked off. Now, originally, this event was planned to be a smaller gathering, but as interest grew on social media, so did this crowd. Here in Wisconsin, there are more than 500 different places where people can go to get a COVID-19 shot. I also spoke with Chief Sean Barnes just about 5 minutes after that verdict was read. He says he feels that justice has been served. Within the past 30 minutes, the FDA has approved Johnson & Johnson's coronavirus vaccine for emergency use. Tonight, a woman is dead and a man hurt after a shooting in Beloit. Police are now searching for the suspect. A sexual assault charge filed against Jacob Blake earlier this year has been dropped. That's according to court documents. Those strong, dangerous, gusty conditions should be moving out of our area in the next few hours.
Yeah, that's right, Tajma.
Tonight, a teen is behind bars accused of shooting 8 people inside a Wauwatosa mall. It's been 20 months since he was first diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Comfortable weather today for hunters as Wisconsin's gun deer season opener kicks off this weekend. These 5 states are still processing their ballots right now, and it seems just within 15 minutes of our 6 p.m. newscast is when we started hearing reports of this activity happening, and things have just really unfolded in a violent and dangerous way since then. Of course, we've been on the air for hours. Right now, law enforcement is telling us that their main goal is to disperse those crowds. We know rocks and other objects have been thrown at officers tonight.
This part of the driveway was not finished.
Daniel DeFoss, a local veteran, has been living in this Wisconsin Dells home for nearly 40 years. Several months ago, he noticed half of his driveway needed some repaving.
I couldn't get a hold of the person who had done the other side.
So he found a local contractor who had done some small repair work for him in the past to do the job.
Said, I can do the whole driveway, the other side of the driveway for you for $3,000.
He paid the contractor in full and was told the work would begin the next day.
In the meantime, I brought him over to my brother-in-law Bob's, and I said, I'd like Bob's done too. It's about the same size driveway.
His brother-in-law was quoted the same $3,000 and paid half up front.
When he got through with here, he was supposed to go over to Bob's and do Bob's.
But weeks and months went by, and he says the contractor never came back to do either job.
Give me the money back. And I sent him emails and everything else. And he wouldn't bring me the money, and he wouldn't finish the job.
Now these 2 veterans are out of a combined $4,500. DeFoss says he notified authorities and filed a complaint with the Wisconsin Better Business Bureau.
Paving scams are an old scam. They just resurface every year when the weather gets nice.
While DeFoss knew the contractor who scammed him, the BBB says it's tracking similar complaints about illegitimate companies offering low prices for paving work.
Either the company takes their money and they never hear from them again, or they come back and they do substandard work.
I reached out to a Fitchburg company that does paving. This company is not associated with any scams or complaints and has an A+ from the BBB.
For any type of paving project, I mean, that's a huge investment for an individual, and so you really do need to do your research.
DeFoss says he wishes he had been more careful.
I think what made me maddest was he did nothing for the money. There's a difference between doing a crappy job or maybe some job that that's not the best job, but to take the money from old people and then say, oh, well.
And I'm still working to learn more about the contractor and how many other people may have been impacted. DeFoss told me he wants his money back and says charges should be filed. The BBB has received more than 500 similar complaints recently. We have tips on how to make sure this doesn't happen to you right now at NBC15.com. Live in the studio tonight, Tajma Hall, NBC 15 Investigates.
Uniting America, nearly 6 decades after Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave his famous I Have a Dream speech, the dream lives on. NBC 15's Tajma Hall spoke to his oldest son about why this MLK Day is especially significant.
Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead.
From 1963 to 2020, the 2 scenes almost mirror one another. a modern-day civil rights movement.
We call ourselves the United States of America. This is not the divided States of America. It is that right this moment. We are very divided.
Martin Luther King III says his father's dream lives on.
This year, when we approach the King holiday, we need to be talking about healing.
His father's message of peace and understanding still holding significance today. Mr. King says we need it now more than ever.
We have never in our lives seen a scenario where American citizens have chosen to turn on their government, but they did not decide on their own volition to do that. They were encouraged to do it by their own head of state. And it's a sad, sad day for democracy.
A global pandemic fueling the tension.
A total disaster that has disrupted the operations of government.
If we go back to over the summer after the death of George Floyd, we saw protesting and unrest break out across the country, including here in Madison, Wisconsin. I know it's hard to say for sure, but what do you think your father's reaction would be to all of this?
My father would have been empathetic, but he would have been greatly disappointed in the fact that we are still dealing with these issues. 50 years after his being here.
History repeating itself.
As a civil society, we should have elevated to a much different level.
Echoing his father's message of unity.
There is a way to address these issues in a more constructive manner as opposed to the destructive manner.
What is the work that is still left to do ahead?
Economic equality. Prior to the pandemic, the average family, white America had about $170,000 of wealth, but black families had $15,000. That disparity is huge. So we've got to close that gap.
Investing in education and healthcare, and supporting black-owned businesses to end all racial disparities.
Everyone has a decent home, everyone has a decent job, and everyone has justice.
The dream remains the same.
And I think ultimately we're going to be all right, but it's going to take us a period of time to get beyond this very tragic disruption that is something we have never, ever seen in our lives.
10 years of amazingness, getting to see this kid grow and laugh, it's worth every bit of pain I go through as a parent now.
A life cut short.
She died a month before she turned 11.
Cody Braylon Dutcher.
She was brilliant and witty.
A little girl who loved to laugh.
The funniest kid.
And smile.
Never a dull moment with her.
Her mother says they shared a special bond.
I got a relationship with her that most people don't get with their kids. I got to be her friend. I mean, I was her mom first, but I got to be her friend, and she became like my best friend.
Brandy recalls the day her life changed forever.
When I came home, I knew something was wrong.
A mother's instinct confirmed by the shocking note left behind. It read, "Mom, I love you, but I can't do it. Bye."
I've replayed her life over and over and over in my head, and I'm like, what did I miss? I'm an RN, and my daughter showed nothing.
And that's this mom's strongest message tonight. For the parents of young children, mental health is not always something you can see.
Maybe if she knew that other kids struggled with the same emotional feelings that she was feeling, maybe things could have changed for her. I'll never know.
Community support pouring in from the beginning.
Everybody was out looking for my child all night long. All night long.
And later, strangers came out to mourn her. Autopsy reports revealed Cody's suicide was caused from taking too many pills.
We hadn't lived here very long, and she went to school here for a very short period of time before COVID shut it down. So no, she really didn't have a whole lot of friends here.
Cody's mom believes the isolation and loss of social interaction played a factor in her daughter's death, and she doesn't want this to happen to anyone else's child.
The one thing that makes it better right now is being able to hopefully help people with my daughter's story.
We've definitely seen an increase in suicidal behaviors for young people. And I think that, currently in our current times of COVID-19, the stress is definitely compiling.
Robin Matthias leads many of the state's suicide prevention efforts. She says recent Wisconsin data shows an increase in suicidal thoughts is particularly noticeable for girls.
Do we have enough resources available throughout the state of Wisconsin to address this?
I think that we have a good amount of resources in the state. I always would be an advocate for building upon those resources and really mainly raising awareness about the resources.
With families entering a new school year amid a pandemic, the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, or DPI, is adapting to meet students' mental health needs.
Our educators have done an amazing job of creating new types of services and resources, of adding information about how to contact the mental health professionals in their school to their emails and to their websites.
We actually have a team of folks who work on suicide prevention.
DPI says it's working on ways to connect with students, even though most are learning from home.
Some schools being fully online, some using a hybrid model, some in person. It's going to be really important for schools to address connectedness, morning group meetings, Google Hangouts, doing some group mindfulness, and fun things like virtual field trips.
And at home, Brandy is encouraging families to have the uncomfortable conversations.
But I hope that her death incites change somewhere else.
And she says change begins with talking openly about the tough stuff, even before you think your child is ready.
That's a conversation I didn't have. And if I have one regret, it's that I didn't. I wish I would have.
Brandy says she doesn't want her daughter to become just another statistic.
Knowing that my daughter impacted people, that her life and legacy lives on, her love lives on, even though she doesn't get to, that's what it's about for me right now.